Yeah? I can do either.
Okay, first time staying here today.
I'm doing pretty well.
Okay, do you know what redlining is?
I don't.
Okay, redlining is a discriminatory practice that like realtors and banks use to like discriminate against low-income areas and minority groups to not lend them loans and things that they need, like mortgage and stuff like that. So, have you where do you live?
I live in Michigan, Grand Rapids.
Okay. Have you seen any instances of redlining in your area specifically, or do you know anything about that?
Ultimately, redlining ends up with creating divisions between classes. Absolutely, yes. There's definitely.
How do you feel like redlining affects like low-income areas and minority groups like that?
I think that it prevents already challenged communities with even deeper challenges by not allowing them the resources that are available to more affluent communities.
Okay. Do you feel like redlining will affect you later in your life, based on what you want to do with your career and stuff like that?
Yes, I do actually. I'm a school counselor, and I see those divisions in our schools. We're a pretty large district, and I think that overall it brings less diversity into schools in general. So it kind of clumps neighborhoods and neighborhood schools. So it tends to push that ethnicity out, and I think that we suffer because of that, not having those integrated communities.
Well, we have an exhibition project coming up, and redlining is basically our main topic, and we have like 2 solutions, so you can talk about your solution.
My solution was to like make a board of people who like understand redlining and like have like what basically understand redlining, and they would look through why people are being denied, if they were being denied for like an ethical reason or just because of the race they are or what neighborhood they live in. So like they would review the loans.
So how are you going to determine whether they were discriminated against?
Probably like their credit score and stuff, and like if they paid their rent, like where they live, or like paid their house note, whatever it's
Yeah,
called.
and Wednesday we talked to some community partners. So I talked to Austin Harrison. He has like a non-profit group for like redlining and housing development and things like that. And he gave us this like website where it tells like it gives all the loans that have been in this year, and it tells what specific area they're in. So like you can really tell if they're just like not giving loans to a specific area. So I think we can look into that and find out.
Yeah. Do you think that redlining perpetuates the problem that? Like it's a cycle, right?
Yeah, it's like
because you're put in a low-income community, so you don't necessarily have access to the job that you need. Therefore, you can't make the money that you might be able to make in another area, and so your credit score goes down, and so it just
And my solution is basically to partner with like banks in those low-income areas and create like funding programs and mortgage plans to give to those areas, so like, they can build up their credit and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Do you think that the banks will be open to that?
Yes and no, because I feel like a lot of government funding things, they just don't like look into things like that, and they only look into like I don't like business ethic, and they don't listen because they don't lend to low income areas because they feel like it's like a problem and it's gonna like cause things for their bank and things like that. So yeah,
Right. They assume that those people are going to default on their loans. So do you think that all the loan officers are aware of what they're doing when they're redlining?
Well, yes, I feel like most of them do, because if somebody wants their business to be strong, they're not going to make like a wrong or like stupid investment into some Tennessee is the eviction capital in like the world. So
Wow.
yes, and they feel like if you're not going to like pay, they're not going to loan to you because you're just going to make their business go down. So yeah, I feel like that's something to think about.
Sure. So maybe some education.
Yes.
When you're collaborating with the banks
Yeah.
about that. That's great. This is a fantastic project.
Thank you.